Hey guys, welcome back to part 2. Just to give a recap on what we've done so far, we imported the two libraries so that we can convert the JSON object to a Python object. From there, we created a list of dictionaries to ultimately send that to a data frame, and df is our data frame object. Now, we briefly went over the head function because I do this every single time. It's useful. It shows you the first 5 rows. You can also input a number here to see that number of rows. I believe you can also do last. Where's the tail? Yeah, tail shows you the opposite, right? It goes from bottom up. Is that right? Anyway, yeah, so what we're going to do now is look at our data frame at full. We just need to type in df. And as you can see here, we can't see all our rows. I'm okay with this, but sometimes you might want to see all your rows, and there's a useful option for that. We can set an option called display.max underscore. Yeah, that should be it. So if we do that, well, we'll run everything again. Then you can see all your rows. Cool. As you can see, there are none values here. This is the year, release date column. This is the album column, and you see none values. What I want to do next is clean up those values because I don't have good use for the none values here. So we're gonna drop all the null values, and the way we're gonna do that is by doing dropna, which is a really useful function. But one thing to keep note is that when you do dropna, there's a parameter called in place, and the default is set to false. So what that means is, if true. Yeah, so if we do false, it's going to return a data set. So for example, test, right? If we do that and we look at df, right, which was the original data frame, we see the none value still there. But if we look at tests, we won't see any more none values because the dropna function returned a data frame. This is cool. That works fine, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do in place equals true so that the df is same df. I don't need to add another data frame, and boom, there we have it. And this is really cool because it just gets rid of all null values. One thing to keep in mind though is that you can also, I think it's this. No, I was looking at the subset. So let's say you wanted to keep the null values in release date, but not in album. Then you could do a subset of that. I already ran this, but yeah, maybe down the road we'll give that a shot. But for this tutorial, I don't really care about the subsets. If there's a null value anywhere, just get rid of it, and that could be the title, and that could be the lyrics. By the way, why did the titles look like this? I don't like it. I think it's because I got the full title. Because if you look here, you got the full title, but maybe I just want title. Yeah, let's get rid of that. I'm gonna just run everything again. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, now we're gonna clean up the release date. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when we do create a bar chart, it might be hard to it might be hard to see when you have all these different months and days to sort of rank stuff. So I'm just gonna get the year, and the way we're gonna do that is, how are we gonna do that? Release date series equals df str.extract release date str.extract r for That's it. Expand equals false, but then we don't really need this parameter. If we do that, okay. If we type in that, cool, okay. Oh, I guess when you're just extracting it. By the way, I use dot notation because I'm finding it useful, but this is the same as doing that, right? The data frame object, we're looking at this column, release date, dot str.extract is something that I found. You can just type that in. So if we do that, then we find this. Basically captures groups, and I found this because I wanted to use a regex, right? So we're using regex here to just keep 4 digits. So it's a data frame. Cool. So all we need to do really is that, and with that, boom, we have our release date cleaned up. And if we do describe, that's not what I'm looking for. I keep doing that. Info. Then we can see that all the data types are objects. An object data type is it's either a string or it's a mix of something. Yeah, not the best description, but the way I understand it is that it's a string or it's a mix of numbers and strings, for example. And this would be a string because it's not clear cut. We have that dash, right? So yeah, anyway, I guess this is where the groupby function will come in handy. So songs by year equals df.groupby, and we need brackets here because we're gonna put in what we want. Now the dot notation, I'll do the release date and df dot title. Actually, release date. Let's do album. And I'll explain what I'm doing in a sec. Size. So okay. I'm gonna reverse that. I'm gonna do if that album. Oops, I didn't copy it. I'm gonna sort. By date. No, I don't want to do that. It's not by. Do that. Songs by year. Head. And boom, we get the counts. Cool. Okay, but it would be nice to have, the label here. Set index. Ooh. Okay, what if we do, I don't get it. By string, name. Yeah. So if I give you the counts, oh, okay. Yeah, I just needed to do that. So if you see this now, we have the album name, the release date, and the count. And this is pretty cool. The warm-up 2009 had 22. I want to focus on the song, the albums that have more than 5 songs. Let's do that. Actually, let's do more than 1. basically we want to drop whatever data frame. So we're going to do songs by year, songs by year, and we're going to get the I could do this again, but I'm just going to do dot notation here. Counts is less than 1, right? Let's make that more readable. We're going to do the index because that's the number row we're pointing to, right? So this row would point at that index, and we're going to do in place equals true because I don't want to return a data frame. If we do that, then we're going to see what the fuck. Places go true. What's wrong? Oh, because less than 2, so that's going to get rid of all the 1s, and we got to sort this again. And we already know how to do that. We're going to sort values in place equals true, ascending equals false. And of course, I will forget this. So equals, we're going to have the brackets, and then from here, we're going to have counts. Okay, and then from there, songs by year, boom, we have a new data frame where we have the album counts and everything below 2 is gone. And just to talk about the index part again, so to talk about this, I got this from StackOverflow, but I thought this was a really neat function, this drop function, because so I'm using dot notation here. We're looking at the data frame, and then from there in the drop function in parentheses, we're calling the data function, the data frame, and within that data frame, we're looking for the column that we're searching for, which is songs by year dot counts, right? And then we're giving it the condition less than 2, and from that, we're still focusing on this data frame. We're calling the index basically the number row we're calling for, because if this index, for example, it's 2 equals 2, so it's gonna ignore that. But for this one, it's gonna capture this index because it matches the conditional, and then it's gonna drop it. So with in place done, we're just gonna keep this data frame, and boom, we have this. Now let's use the Altair. Actually, I didn't import it. Import Altair as alt. Right, Altair is a Python visualization tool, and I'm trying to learn to use it because, I mean, Matplot and Seaborn, they just weren't really sticking with me. So I was like, ooh, I don't think this is number 1, but I find this pretty cool, interactive and all. It looks pretty straightforward too. So I was trying to learn this. And so far, I think it's working pretty well. I mean, let's see if I even remember how to use it. I'm going to have to use the documentation. So alt has a class called chart. And within this chart, we're going to pass in the data frame, songs by year. Right? Simple enough. And then there's 2 more steps to this. The first part is mark. And it's usually mark star because we can have mark bar, mark point. But basically, we're marking the data we want. It's like, I don't know how else to put it. We're marking the data we want. So let's see this. We're going to do mark bar, mark bar, right? So basically, this is how we want to mark our data. And then we're going to do encode, which is where, and we need to put the curly brackets in. Encode is mapping the values to the mark. Yeah, that's not the best explanation, but basically we want to set how we're going to mark it, and then we're going to map the meanings, to the visualization. So we can set x equals something, and these are called channels. Y equals something. So this is very simple, right? X and Y. Not diving into other channels yet, but if we just look at X, for example, let's look at let's put the release date as X, and for Y we'll have the counts. Let's see what that looks like. Boom. Come on. Be nice. Be nice. What's wrong with this? And let's look at the example, yeah? Alright, so if we go to example gallery, simple bar chart, I mean, this is pretty, isn't it? Like, look at all these different charts you can make. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go to simple bar chart because I'm just trying to make this, but clearly I can't without help. So that's because mark underscore bar. I did that. X and Y. Oh, well, apparently you don't need the curly brackets. My bad. Boom, there we have it. We have our image. Cool. So in 2007, 2009, I mean, these 3 years, he's been most productive. 07, 09, 010. It's interesting because it's not when he creates those tracks, right? J. Cole probably recorded those songs like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So, if anything, it's delayed. So I think J. Cole was probably more active in 2005, 2004, just preparing all these tracks. And who knows? I mean, because in 2009, 2008, we don't really see a lot of things, but maybe that's when he was preparing for 2009 and 10. So it's really interesting. 2020, I mean, all we have is Lewis Street. That's why we only have 2. 2015, I don't know what happened there. We got Revenge of the Dreamers here, but I guess he was preparing, down the line. I guess I can't really tell you what happened there, but anyways, this is cool, right? We see when J. Cole is most active in terms of album production. Next thing I want to do is count the number of words, and this is interesting, right? How many times does J. Cole say the word love, or hate, or the N-word, just because, he says it out of affinity, he says it out of affection, sometimes out of hate, right, and resentment, but it's a lovely term. Sometimes, like, my bad if I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but like respect, you know what I mean? Like, this is part of J. Cole, and I'm just, bowing to the culture. All right, so how do we do that? Let me call df.head again here so I can see what I'm looking at. We're gonna write a function here called count words, and we're gonna have the word here, right? Let's also put in the data frame. Maybe that's not the best, so I'm gonna just spell it out, data frame. So for index row in data frame dot iter rows. So iter row. So let's look at what we're doing here. We have a function. We're passing in 2 parameters. One is the data frame, and other is the word that we're going to specify. Index is marikadero. Sorry, I spoke Korean there. I don't know why, but index, it counts from 0, 1, 2 on an ongoing, right? For each row, and row is literally the data we have here. So row is where it's at. For data frame, we're going to do iter rows so that it does give us the index in the row. That's why we're having 2 labels. We're going to do lyrics equals row lyrics dot split. All right, so this is row. We're going to this row, for example. We're containing the lyrics value here, and we're going to split it by white space. Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm burping so much. This is so inappropriate. I apologize for being so unprofessional on this, but bear with me. If you're even here up to this part, like, gosh, I really commend you. Did I say that correctly? Commend. Praise. Yeah, I praise you. All right. So lyrics, you go bop, bop, bop. So we're going to have a counter set to 0. Now we're going to have to iterate through the lyrics for word in lyrics. If word equals, damn it, is, damn it, this is why I can't use W, okay? We're going to have to, that's W, whatever. For word in lyrics, if word equals W, right? But by the way, I want to put lowercase dot split. Okay, I hope that stacks. I think it will. So we're going to put everything in lowercase and then we're going to split it by a white space, all right? So that if, okay, because we're going to say give provided word. Lowercase too. Okay, perfect. By the way, lowercase, does it return? Oh my gosh, I've done this so many times. Lower just does it. It doesn't return anything. All right, so I literally don't need to do lowercase, first of all. Second of all, I could just do lower, okay? Cool. So it's lowered here. Everything's freaking lowered. If word equals W, then counter plus equals 1, and that basically means for whoever is new to it, counter plus 1. But this is faster. Okay. Every time let's go through this again. We have two parameters. We're lowering the provided word. We have the index and row, and we're iterating through the rows. Lyrics as a variable is split, so it's a list with split words like A, B, and so forth. And we have an empty counter, and for a word in the lyrics of the list, we're seeing if word matches the provided word. If it is, we're going to provide a counter. But that's it, right? Why is it so simple? Okay, we're going to return the counter at the end. Actually, that's not right. Because we're going to have a freaking list of counts. All right, so we're going to list of counts dot append, and the reason why we're doing this is because we're not just looking at one row, right? We're looking at all the songs. So it's just gonna, that would cause an error. So we're just gonna add all the counts to the songs, and the cool thing is it's gonna line up anyway. So we're gonna look at it like that. Let's see. So if we do that, then we can return list. Turn list of counts. Right, let's see if this works. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything. We'll see. All right, so if we do count words, data frame, because df, because that's what we're working with. And let's type in love, right? So if we do that, count word is not defined. Yep, you're right. Boom. All right, so this is number of times Cole says love. Ooh, he says, all right, this is hard to read. So what we're going to do here is list of counts. I'm just reusing the variables here. And then if we, okay, we know what that looks like, but now we want to add to that. So actually that's not, this might not be the best approach, but number counts equals list of counts. If we do that, And all of a sudden, we have the number of times he said the word love. Born Sinner. I mean, whatchamacallit, Power Trip. He said it 17 times. It's pretty interesting. The reason why this is not the best approach is because now you have it set. Like, you got to remove the... Actually, do you? Because it sort of works. For the purpose of this tutorial, I think it works. Like, love. Oh my gosh. List of... love count. Okay, I'm going to do love count. Nope. Alright. Love... Fuck. What the fuck? Okay, number of counts for that, alright? You feel me? So we have love count here, 17. So if we're gonna sort of show that, we could do alt again. Actually, before that, this is interesting now. Sort values by, you already know the drill, by, can't forget that anymore. We're gonna do number of counts, okay? Ascending equals false. Oh, okay. All right. Chaining day. What's that? All right. You know what? I just realized this is not applied to the songs with the albums with less than 2 songs. Whatever. I'm gonna do alt chart again. We're gonna send in the data frame. We're gonna mark bar. Right, and then we're gonna encode, no curly brackets, x equals, well, I wanna do the song name, actually, title, might be a big chart, title, and for y, we're gonna have number of counts, okay? And then we get a big error, and I don't know why, title. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is not pretty. Alright, I want to do ascending. I wish I could explain this, but I really don't understand this right now. Encoding sort field is some sort of function within the chart class, I believe. And we provide the field, the operation, right, and the order. It's descending, but yeah, so I can't really touch upon that, so maybe down the line I'll have to look into it. But if we see here the number of times he says love for chaining day, what the heck is what's chaining day? I am so sorry. I just don't know this song so much, and you know, I'm sorry, like, I just don't know all his songs. I'm a fan, but I guess I'm not the biggest fan. Nevertheless, note to self. I mean, it's like 14, 15 minutes long or plus. I mean, that's when he wraps up his album and he thanks everybody, right? I really enjoyed Note to Self. Power Trip, Love Yours, Nobody's Perfect. Interesting. No role models. But Fire Squad? What the heck is Fire Squad doing here? But then again, it's around like 4 times. He said love 4 times there. Holy crap. Only in 3 songs did J. Cole say the word love over like 16, 17 times. It's crazy. I mean, but then again, that's a lot of love. Let's try something else. What if we do hate? I'm curious. Hate. Actually, god damn it. You know, I gotta... Love count, okay? I gotta work on this, but... You know, this is how you learn. A lot of trial and error. Oh my gosh, I don't need number of counts anymore. How do you remove a column? Data frame, remove column. Drop, that's it? We're just dropping it, or are we easy enough with deleting? We're just deleting, man. Delete. So what we're gonna do is, I don't want number of counts. So boom. But what I wanted to do was df hate count equals hate count, and hate count, damn it, hate count would do hate, right? So if we did that, we already deleted it. Yep, it won't work anymore. Sort values by, I don't even want to do that right now, so I deleted it. Okay, we're gonna do hate count. Hate count. This is interesting. He doesn't say the word hate a lot. Is that so? Man. Really? Interesting. You're kidding me. I don't know why that's hard to believe. No. Shit. He doesn't say hate a lot. Huh. Interesting. I find that interesting. All right, the last thing I'm going to do is check the number of times he says the N-word, because I know for a fact he says it a lot of times. You know, I'm just curious. Enter that. We're going to do end count. That's not right, because it's the same as before. That's because, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Oh my gosh, note to self, he says it. I mean, if you listen to Note Yourself, you can understand why, right? He's oh my god, he's loving everybody. He's loving everything. You know, gosh, Black Friday's next. Whew. Oh yeah, he says a lot of N-words in that song. Last Call. Oh yeah. Interesting. GOMD. Fire Squad. Okay, that makes more sense. But still, if you look at this though, we got from 30 to 20 something. Top 3. Very interesting. But it does flatten out down the line. Huh. Alright. Okay, this could be controversial, but you know, just out of curiosity, and I respect that for real. But think about it, if you were to like replace the word with bro, that's how many times he says bro. But then again, you can't really put bro on the equivalent level as that word. So, all right, okay, what now? So in part 3, I'm going to try to send a song lyric to a machine learning thing, and we're going to try to not predict, but we're going to see if the model, right, is going to see it as positive or negative. So we'll look into that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you in the next